This is a video describing what needs to be in your ISN for the Flowers for Algernon Unit 3. On page 58 is the title page. On page 59 is our table of contents, describing where everything goes in the table of contents. On page 60 are the words to know for Flowers for Algernon. On page 61 there should be a quick write, and on page 62 there should be notes about Daniel Keyes. Again, mine are blank because I was giving the notes, but yours should be filled in. If you are missing any of these items, please check on the agenda with the attachments to view. On page 63 were the Flowers for Algernon Daniel Keyes spelling corrections, where I gave you a list of words and you had to spell them correctly. On page 64 should be your descriptions for the ink blot test. I showed you a series of ink blots and you described what you saw. On page 65 are the response questions. The actual packet is going on page 65. So you're going to type in all of the questions for the Flowers for Algernon unit. On page 66 starting are the response questions where you've completed writing the response answers in complete sentences, including page numbers. These responses start on page 66 and continue on to page 67, page 68, page 69, and at the top of page 69 is a quick write, and then you have more space on page 70 for your Flowers for Algernon response questions, as well as page 71 and page 72. On page 73, I have the notes on what characterization is. Okay, what characterization is, and also we practiced looking at characterization for Charlie. And on page 74, we did a literary analysis of him as a character. On page 75 is the Words to Know skill builder for the Words to Know for Flowers for Algernon. And for us on page 76 is the multiple intelligence packet, where you define the different types of intelligences. On page 77 was a quick write, where you decided if using your brains was something that you can borrow, so you described the quote on page 77. And on page 78 was the AdV marking the text, where we underlined and numbered the paragraphs and dotted the claim. On page 79 was our C, your evidence, where we described what a C paragraph was. And then across from that, on page 80 was the U.S. moves to shield chimps, the actual article, where we underlined the claim, circled the key terms, and dotted the evidence. And again, that's on page 80. On page 81 is your outline for the Flowers for Algernon essay. And on page 82 is the Flowers for Algernon essay, where we did the do-what and described what the essay prompt was asking us to write about. On page 83 is a quick write on the universal themes that you'll describe tomorrow using the theme for Flowers for Algernon. And on page 84 are your movie notes for Flowers for Algernon and the movie Charlie. And that concludes what needs to be in for your ISN test.